Just recording me. Take a deep breath in and push as hard as you possibly can with your thumb into that index. Push, push, push as much as you can tolerate. And side out and let the fingers wiggle out of the posture. And let's come to our golf ball, rolling it around in the palm of your hand or whatever ball you have. Roll it around in your hand. Use one hand to be still and the other hand to do some work. So you're putting pressure into the palm of one hand, working it around the outer edges of the palm. And switch, go to the other side. So you're creating your own little bit of resistance. And work your way up your one forearm first, whichever forearm. When you get to the elbow joint, the front part of your forearm, do some little circles in that area, right in here. Feel free to go up into the tricep, around, like work. All about dexterity. Round in circles around that elbow joint, in behind the elbow, loosening things up. And then to the underside of the forearm. Up and around the bicep, get to the belly of the muscle. Working your way up into the shoulder. A little bit of pecs and around the shoulder. Try and focus on the muscles only. Rubbing golf ball on bone doesn't feel great. Come across the front of the pec chest area. Maybe even go into your armpit. Good to stimulate, yeah, really good to stimulate your armpit glands. Can't remember which gland they're associated with. It might be their own gland. But the thymus gland is very close by here in the heart center. Move across around your chest. Get into the breast tissue. Circle around the heart. Switch hands if you have to. The pecs, the other armpit. The other shoulder. Belly of the bicep, which means right in the center. If you find a weak spot or a tender spot, and it feels good, spend a little extra time there. You don't have to do everything I'm saying. Your way down around your elbow in circles a little bit. Top of the forearm. If you ever had a carpal tunnel or a neck issue, often the neck issue will often extend out the arm into the hand. Yeah, especially if you used to work in a restaurant, serving things. If you've ever done a lot of knitting or tennis playing. Down along the forearm. And let's go, when you're ready, around the belly. So you want to work in a clockwise motion for you, because digestion works in this way, from your right rib over to your left rib and then down and around in a circle, whether you're going around your navel or you're staying just above the navel. Digest your breakfast. Yola, we're using a ball to massage ourselves just to warm up the fascia and loosen it up before we get moving. I'm going to change positions and extend my legs out one at a time. and work down the outside of my quad, my IT band. Here's where you don't want to necessarily roll the ball, but you can just move the ball along the outer part of the leg from the hip to the knee. Oh, try below the IT band closer to the hamstring and try just above it. Might be too tender to go right on it. It might try and run away from you. Work your way through the tops of the quads. Inside of the legs. I had a terrible backache last night. I think I've been painting my house. I think that did some of it because my legs were really tense from being on the ladders. So we were watching a movie in bed and I was in terrible pain. So I woke up and this is the second time I massaged my legs out and the pain is gone. Wow. So tight legs, sore back. Loose legs, back much better. Breathe through it, Mary. Breathe through it. Work down into your calves. Get right up in behind the knee. Down along to the Achilles. Ball rolling. And if you want, you can go, there's not much muscle or fascia tissue down in the inner ankle or the outer ankle, but it's still there. There's a lot of ligaments and tendons in the foot, not a ton of fat. There are some muscles in there. But mostly the golf ball works best on the bottom of the foot. So let's go to the other leg first, actually. Do the IT band, the outside of the quad before we stand up and finish the massage. You guys notice that your first leg feels looser than your leg that you're working on now? Yeah. Is there some relief or some release of tension? This is a great little tool to work with if you're late at night watching TV, you need something to do with your hands. Even if you don't have a ball, you can always just use your fingers, but the ball gets into the areas that the fingers don't always. Inside leg, even right into the groin area where the hips meet, where the legs meet the pelvis. Down your calf, up and down your calf, roll around in the belly of the gastrocnemius muscle. Work wherever feels good for you. Where you get some freedom. Breathe through the tight spots. And when you're ready, come to stand up. Give your legs a little shake. Notice how they feel. Put the ball underneath one of your feet and roll that ball around under your foot. Move from left to right, like from the inside of your foot to the outside of your foot at the ball of your feet, like back and forth like this, but standing on it. Move this way, the outside of the foot, the inside, and around in circles on the heel. A lot of it is proprioceptive work. Foot-brain coordination. Eye-brain, eye-foot coordination. The long way from your brain to your toes. So the more connected we are all the way down to those nerve endings in our feet, smarter we are. And balance is associated with good memory.
That's why.
So-
a problem.
So if you're forgetting things, you should be standing on one foot more often these
Oh,
days.
Yeah.
Yeah, really, yeah. Yeah, they should teach people who are starting to lose their minds how to balance, and they should do more yoga. And switch feet when you're ready, or stick with one foot, it doesn't matter. It does matter as long as you're balancing it out, both sides, balance, balance. Should do another class on balance.
Yeah.
We'll work
Very interesting.
We'll work a little more on balance in chair yoga. By the way, I'm not doing chair yoga on Zoom, but if you're ever inclined to come out to the class, there's a lot of lovely ladies, and it's fun. Yeah, and it's different. It's much more I would say what would the word be? Ease-filled yoga. Tuesdays at 10 o'clock.
But
It's what we need.
Work.
Did you?
Like on the hips.
Yeah.
Because you'll lift the leg up.
Yeah.
And move it around.
Yeah. Mindfulness as well, and it's community building. Okay. I hope everybody feels somebody didn't want to spend too much time on that. We could do a whole hour of just working with the body and massaging it out. Let's come back now to start in child's pose. Ease. Hopefully it feels better to be in child's pose because you've worked through your body already, warmed yourself up in a different way than you normally would. Just take these quiet moments to notice and reflect on the tender areas in your system. The areas you really want to work on or acknowledge that are a problem. But most likely you need to pay a little more attention there. Often if we're scared or something, or we are in pain, we want to avoid it as much as possible. But in order to get rid of it, we've got to work with it, acknowledge it, let it come up, and then help it go away. Come on up onto your hands and knees, so we'll warm up the spine a little more in cat-cow. So you can move any amount, any quickness or slowness that you would like to move in cat-cow. Using the breath to breathe in as you open up the heart and the belly, and to breathe out as you round the spine, arching like a cat tilts and stretches. If it doesn't feel good on your wrists, you can always make fists and put the weight into the knuckles and make sure you have nice, strong, solid, long fists, wrist. Nice long arms, no hyperextension in the elbows. That'll create more wrist problems and shoulder problems. So the elbows slightly rotated inwards. And then just notice where the tilting begins. Are you starting at the head, following all the way down? Are you starting from the base, which is where you want to try and start, and then all the way up to the top of the head? Naturally, everything starts to move at once, but with conscious attention, you get one thing moving at a time. Practice. Move a little bit faster, as long as you're not getting dizzy or your neck isn't hurting or anywhere else doesn't pinch and hurt. Keep going. Just gonna move the camera. You guys still won't be on camera. And take yourself back into child's pose again. Just let that energy settle and move. 3 minutes of that a day helps to increase your collagen levels Fighting those aging wrinkles. Move the hands off to one side just to open the side body. Breathe into that lung that is inside of the ribs that are stretching. Carefully walk over your hands to the other side off the mat. Just simple awakening stretches. Let's come back into the center. We're fairly warmed up now. We've really moved a lot of the muscles in the fascia around. So come on up when you're ready into downward dog. Right on back. Invite your heels closer to the mat. Walk your feet a little closer to your hands. Get those heels closer to the floor. Bend your knees. Let the richness of the stretch sink in. The whole back body is stretching right now, from your feet, up your ankles, up your legs, across your hips, along your back, through your shoulders. Roll and relax your shoulders and send your bum higher into the air. And just walk it out tenderly, carefully. Let's bring the right leg up as long and far off as you want. And then bring that knee close behind the same elbow and slide that knee down along the shin and place the knee right behind the hand, toe pointing out and away as much as you can. Toe pointing off the mat. You can lower to your forearms if it doesn't feel good on your low back. Lift the head up. Bring the chin to the chest with an exhale. Bring the belly to the spine a little bit. You feel your hips lifting slightly as you bring your chin in. Lift the head up. Breathe in. Breathe out, chin to chest. One more, head up. And chin down. If you're on your forearms, return to your hands. Bring that right leg back up to the sky. And return it to the mat and walk it out. Move the hips. And settle back into a standard, just breathing downward dog. Still, but breathing through the whole body. So you're moving the inside of your body. The outside is still and calm. Inside is very at work. Bring the left leg up as high as you want. Stretch it behind you as long as you want. Bring it forward with the knee bent behind the elbow and slide it down the forearm until it meets the mat. Toes pointing out and away. Any amount, either long arms or down on the forearm. Lift that head up. Drop the chin down with the out breath. Inhale up. And drop. And lift. Really stretch your throat and your heart space. And exhale. Return to normal so you can get your hands back underneath you. And send that left leg back into the sky for a moment. And then return to walk out your dog. Move your hips. Relax your shoulders. Loosen up your legs. Back to normal. Be still on the outside. Let the inside work and move. So much you notice just with the breath moving. Breathe in, bring that right leg up long and high again, as high as you want, as long as you want. Bring the knee to the elbow again. Lower the knee down on the inside of the hand this time, so you come onto your shin and possibly sit on your heel with a long extended back leg. Like this. Here, any amount, you want to let your hands come off of the mat or walk them back further towards your toes. You okay?
It's cramping in my foot.
Oh, you? And let's come back towards the hands where they're comfortable under the shoulders. Tuck that back toe, lift that leg high and long. And take it back to downward dog. Or if your wrists are sore, take a child's pose. And just sway those hips side to side, whether you're in downward dog or in child's pose. Hips and shoulders can move side to side. And back into the center. Be still. Bring that left leg up. Bring it behind the same elbow. Slide it down the inside of the hand. Sit on the heel. Shin to the mat. Hands can walk back any amount. They can come up if you wish. Return the hands to the floor. Send that leg up high. Extend. Downward dog. Just instant stillness here. Once you're there, let the breath do the work. Breathe in, pull the body weight forward over the hands, hover in a long arm plank. If you need to go down onto your knees, go ahead. If you need to go down to your forearms, go ahead. Engage your core, slight lift in the tailbone, active all through the front body. Very slowly lower, keep your elbows close to your chest. Knees come first, chin, nose, chest to mat. As you inhale, hang that tongue out. Sorry, exhale, hang that tongue out. Inhale, lower. Exhale, push up, hang your tongue. Keep going. Detoxify. A big old line spread. Good to cleanse your throat chakra. One more. Stay up. Breathe normally. Eyes closed down. Exhale to child's pose. Come on, back up to your hands and knees. Take the right leg out long. Hold here. Stabilize yourself, whether your toes are tucked underneath or the foot is flat. It's really up to you. Let's do little pulses up and down with this leg. Just very micro movements. Now let's start a circle in one direction. If this isn't good for your wrists, make those fists again or be down on your forearms. Go the other way with the circles. The glute might be burning, but you've really already given it a good massage. Well, we didn't really get into the glute, did we? We've given the leg a good massage. We'll do our glutes later. Pause and stretch the leg longer. With the next breath in, extend the opposite hand out. And then squeeze knee to elbow. Inhale, stretch. And squeeze. And stretch. And hold and breathe. With the next breath out, return, hand and foot, and child's pose. As you rise this time, I invite you to extend your left leg as you come up with the breath in and go. Lift and extend. And little tiny pulses in that other leg. Make them fairly quick. Avoid hyperextending your knee. That will activate more of your back line, more of the muscles in your back if you're not really completely outstretched. Little circles in one direction. Feel all the rest of the body working for you. Support this leg out. How hard is it to make a proper circle? Like, maybe I got wobbly circles going on, and the other way, imagine you had a chalkboard behind you and a piece of chalk in your toes. Extend, reach with the next inhale. Take that arm out long as well, or the opposite arm. Breathe out, elbow to knee. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And return child's pose. Lower down. Take some water if you need to. As you're ready, either hands and knees or downward dog. Your choice where you come at this one from. So before we go there, I'll try to explain it first. We're bringing that, what we did earlier, we're bringing that knee behind the hand and dropping it down, and then we're going to rotate ourselves towards the back of our mat into a half lord of the fish. Okay? Sounds complicated, it might be, but we're going to try it out. So from downward dog or from hands and knees, either way, bring the right leg up and out behind you, then bend it, bring it behind the hand and drop it down. Similar to what we did before, the toe can be pointing out, or you can have yourself resting on your shin. From here, we're going to drop our right hip down to the mat. You might have to bring your long leg a little closer to the bent leg. And we're going to roll onto that left hip and move toward the bent knee, okay? Lifting the knee up as we spin. Okay, lift that knee up. Yep, you got it. You guys are good. You guys spin towards the window. Come to sit on your bum. So the leg's pointing out and you're facing the back of your mat now. Yep, there you go. You might have to scoot your bum a little bit, but you should have your right foot crossed over your left leg and facing the back of your mat. From here, the hand of the left hand goes in front or just hugs around the bent knee. Up to you how it looks. If your elbow is actually on the outside of your bent knee, even though it feels like it's on the inside, it's really on the outside. If the elbow is actually there, try and put your forearm straight up into the air. If you can't go that far, just hug your elbow and your arm around the knee. And then finally, rotate, wind up. With the free hand, you can place it behind your back and look over that right shoulder. A little bit of an inhale, breathe up, sit tall. Exhale, wind up a little further. Begin to unwind, moving back from the way you came, returning to reach your hands towards the top of the mat. You might have to wiggle that foot, unwind yourself and come to a pyramid. So as you lift your bum to the air, your feet plant, the right foot's in front of the left. You've got train tracks under your feet, so your feet are on the far edges of your mat. Try and balance the weight evenly between both feet. Hands can just be on the mat beside you. Hang your head. Walk your hands forward. Send your left leg high into the air. Warrior 3. Bring the hands to the knee. Or fly your warrior 3, or grab that block, or bed or coffee table that's in front of you and hold on. Try and get the back long leg parallel, horizontal, the spine horizontal with the earth. And settle your long back leg back down onto the mat. Bend the front knee, come back onto your shin. And relax again here. Inhale the head up. Exhale the chin to the chest. And back to downward dog or child's pose. Go ahead and do a flow here if you want to go through a plank to lower down, chaturanga, to an up dog, or take a break in child's pose. We'll come back to either hands and knees or downward dog. So we'll start in that same position as before. We're taking the left leg up. We'll bring in the knee behind the elbow and then dropping it all the way down, whether the toes are pointing out or you're resting on your shin. It's up to you. Handle this way. So from here, we're walking the hands towards the bent knee and rolling and dropping that other hip, lifting up the bent knee as we move. Yeah, you got it. You got it. Going the other way. No, you're good. You're good. So the left foot will be on the outside of the right leg. You're still facing the back of your mat. Is it supposed to be the same as last time? No, you've done it right. I think.
No, I had the.
Oh, you did?
Oh, no, I didn't.
Yeah, left leg should be bent on the outside of the right knee.
Yeah.
Good. Now either grasp that bent knee or come into a full half load of the fish with the elbow on the outside of the knee. And then that free hand can come behind the back. Forearm can also run down, elbow connected at the knee, hand down to the hip to support, hold things in place. If I really need it on this side, my back is very tight under my right shoulder blade. And begin to unwind, returning back the way you came to the front of your mat. Spin and pivot your feet so that they are parallel or they are wide from each other. The left foot's beyond in front of the right. Into pyramid pose. Hands can be on the mat. Hang that head. Get a visual on your block or your coffee table for support. And as you're ready, place the balance into your front foot. Gently swing that back leg up and behind you long for warrior 3. Helping, if you have your hands interlaced and placed on the top of your knee, this will help to stabilize any low back pain too. There's a difference when they're on the knee versus out in front of you or flailing around. Hands can come back down to the mat. Draw that back leg to the mat, come back down onto the shin of the front foot. Inhale the head up. Exhale the chin to the chest. Inhale. Exhale. And return head up. Tuck your toes, tuck both sets of toes. And send the hips back slightly and then step that front foot in between the hands so you've got a lunge. Feel free to come up from the hands and lift high or stay down, really up to you, but we're trying to come into a crescent lunge so we're fairly low. You can drop the back knee if that's uncomfortable with it high. Exhale, hands down to the mat. Inhale, lift up again. Knee can stay connected or lift off. Exhale, come back down. This time, bring the hands onto the knee. But before you do that, walk your knee a little bit closer, your back knee, so you have more of a 90-90 happening. Then come up, interlace the hands on the front of the knee or on the top. Slow down the breath. Elevate the head from the body without puffing out the chest. Breathe from the center. Returning the hands down to the mat. Come up off your back knee. And walk towards the inside of your legs, pivoting both feet so that they're parallel and you're side facing on your mat. There we go. Hang the head between the hands, take your hands wider. Maybe bend the elbows. Walk the hands closer to your original front foot. So walk your hands toward the top of your mat and bend into your front knee. Keep the feet pointing the same direction. The feet are parallel with each other. Then walk your hands to the back foot. Bend into the back knee. And back the other way to the front foot. Now that this front knee is bent, we're going to bend it further, lifting the front heel off the floor. Walking the hands towards the back foot. The bent knee will bend, and you can come to sit on the heel, facing the back of your mat. Long right leg. You got it, Annie. Yep, just drop that knee down. If you can. If not, just stay up high. If not, just stay up high like this.
Okay. Oh, like that?
Yeah, you can do that. There you go. There you go.
This,
Yeah, can you square up your hips with the back of the mat? Almost there. Reaching for your feet, for your foot of the long right leg. Hang that head. Yeah, that's better. Come on back up off the heel again. Bring the hands inside, side facing. Tuck the back toes under and return to feet parallel. Wide stance. Come down to the forearms, hang the head. You can clasp your hands together and rest on the forearms. Side facing on your mat, feet are parallel. Wide stance. Drop the head. Maybe play around with putting the crown of the head right in behind the interlocked hands. Maybe lifting your heels off the mat just to get a bit of pressure without hurting any neck vertebrae. And return, supporting in the hands, walking them back up to the front of the mat. Lower the back knee back down, return the other foot into hands and knees, and take a break. And let all of that complicated matter settle in. Hope you're able to follow. Just restore here. Coming back up, whether it's from hands and knees or downward dog, your choice. If you're coming from hands and knees, we're going to flow into a kneeling plank. If you're coming from downward dog, we're going to flow into a long arm plank and then flow through all the way down into that up dog. And back to either child's pose or down dog. And keep going, just a few more here before we do that other side. So undo the pattern complexity. They're from hands and knees or from down dog. Up to you. Bring your right foot forward. And drop your back left knee unless it was already back down and dropped. And we have a 90-90. Lift on up. Hands can go to the knee. You can even close down your eyes. Just be kind and unwind. One more breath in, nice and tall. Elongate. As you breathe out, hands come back down to the mat. Tuck your back toe underneath and pop your knee if you want to off the floor. If not, keep your knee connected on the floor as we rise into a very low lunge. If you want to lift your arms up, you can do that too. If you want to come up on the knee, you can do that too. You can also lift and lower. You really want to work the legs. And let's come on back down with an exhale. Here we're going to bring our hands inside of the front foot. Walk them towards center, spin on the feet, make them parallel with each other, lift the back knee up, and you've got a wide leg, forward fold, side facing stance. Drop the head, nice long arms. Now bring the weight into the front foot, bend the front knee, bring the hands close to that front leg. You're moving towards the top of your mat, then walk the hands across to the back foot, shift the weight into the back foot and bend the back knee. Walk back towards the front foot. And lower slightly, bending into the knee. And back the other way. Back to the front. So here's the fun part, right? The front knee's bent. We're going to bring the front knee down to the mat. And as we bring it down, we're pivoting on our feet so that the knee is swinging and the hips are squaring up with the back of the mat. So you should be facing the back of your mat. You come, bring that knee onto the mat, drop it down, and maybe sit onto your heel. If it's too far to go on your heel, you can stay upright. Okay. Okay. Breathe. Hang the head, reach out over the long legs, over the long leg. And then come on back up off of that heel. Spin back open to side facing, pivoting the feet, returning to side face. Maybe drop the forearms down to the mat. If you have to bend your knees, go ahead. Perhaps you want to put the crown of the head into the interlocked hand and lift the heels up off the floor. If you know how to get yourself safely, those of you on Zoom, into a headstand from here, you can try it out. Activate the core first, come off the tippy toes, and climb on up with those feet. Little bits at a time. You want to put the weight into the elbows. Draw the chin in, use the core. And then coming back out of it, walk those hands back to the front of the mat, pivot on those feet. Come to sit down on your bum. Stretch the legs out long. Lean over the long legs. Hug your hands and arms behind your knees. Draw the chin into the chest. Make space in the back. And breathe and restore here. Bend your knees any amount. Adjust if you need to. Unwind your hands, put them beside your hips and push your core up. Walk your feet closer to your bum, but not super close. Just have the knees bent nice and wide with the feet. And then drop your body over your bent legs. Maybe the knees can find the armpits. Expand your back, east to west, not so much north-south. Inhale, sit up tall. Take your right foot and knee and invite it across in front of you. And then put the hands in front of this knee and shin and kick out the long left leg behind you as much as you can. Lower down into a version of pigeon that serves you. Even if that back leg is bent, no problem. You can keep it up close, but just taking any amount of the body over the front leg. Bringing the hands back, push yourself up. Walk the hands behind your hips so that you're supporting here, and then bring the back knee to line it up with the front knee. Lean onto your right glute and massage it around. So I said we get here and here we are. Another great way to do this is to get yourself a wooden block and massage right into that wooden block. I heard an expert talking about how the benefits of rolling and out on wooden blocks. Well, you can't roll on a wooden block, but you can move around on it. The bone on wood is very healing.
Really?
It seems odd, but bone on wood is the best thing. The foam is, you know, different substance, doesn't work the same way. And letting it go here. The bottom knee can stay where it is. Just sit back onto both bum cheeks or both sits bones and bring the other leg either on top or in front, wherever suits you. You can get your ankle on top of the inside of the knee. That's great. Otherwise, if you have a block or a pillow close by, you can put the foot in front of it and on top of it. So the left leg's on top of the right. If it's the opposite for you, then do the other way with your hands. But left leg on top of right, which means right arm on top of left. Yeah. So if it's the other way around for you, then switch the arms.
Because the shoulders and the hips are kind of like mirror images of each other, if we were doing it the other way, then things are not as oppositely squared. Does that make sense? I've got a bit of a nod. It's like when you're doing eagle too, you have to do opposites. Just sit like a yogi on a mountain, refreshing in the cool, misty, tropical air. Cool, warm, misty, tropical air. Kind of like what we have right here in Muskoka. Now give yourself a great big hug. Wrap your hands around your back. Lift your elbows up slightly. And relax and stay in the hug. Unwind those hands. Remove the top foot, whether it's on a knee or not, but the top leg is not going to become the front leg. And take your bottom leg out and send it out behind you any amount, whether the knee stays bent or whether you can get your leg long and square up to your hips for the top of the mat. Lower down any amount. Maybe you want to put the block underneath your forehead or up bolster. Bringing the hands back to support the lift up the torso. Pull the back knee up and line it up with the front knee. Knees are bent. Lean onto that other glute and roll and massage it out. Stop on a tender spot. Don't let your face scrunch up. Relax your jawbones. Don't grind your teeth. Let them be soft. And work through the nitty-gritty. And coming back to sit up on both sits bones. That front leg, bottom leg remains on the bottom, and then the other leg, the ankle either comes above the knee, a little bit more crossed, maybe in front, maybe you just want to sit cross-legged. So opposites with the arms. So my right leg's on top, which means my left arm's on top. Love the thought. I can see the body language and the thought in the body language. Close down your eyes. Go to your happy place. Where you're most focused, where you're most clear. The less pain, the more clarity. Less pain, more freedom. Is it emotional pain? Is it physical pain? Most times the brain can't tell the difference. And if it's emotional pain, it turns into physical pain. If it's physical pain, it becomes emotional pain. And it all gets wound up into a big tight tension ball of stress and fear and anxiety. And then it tightens and hardens. So we tried to soften it today. So you can have a new perspective, a new release, a new freedom. Taking the edge off. Give yourself a big hug. Unwind yourself.
roll onto your back and do a little happy baby, or a little shoulder stand, or a little bridge, or a full wheel, or a supine twist, anything you want to end your practice with today.
I heard that. Spend as long as you want in your final postures. As long as you need. Gentle little movements in your toes, your fingers. Moving your neck side to side. Rolling out your wrists, your ankles. And then bringing feet together and your hands together and rubbing them vigorously to create some heat and friction and warm up your magnetic field. When you've had enough rubbing, hug yourself around your shins. Rock yourself side to side, head to tail, around in circles. And either roll to one side and pause, or rock yourself up to seated. And if you roll to one side and pause, then eventually come up to seated. Bring your hands together. I'll let the singing bowl carry our Om vibrations, and lead the tone. Oh. 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 And sign up. Thank you. Namaste.